Y'all was seeing my face more than normally. Um, and I may start going live, on this platform. It depends on how it kicks off this year. If it kicks off as though I can start going live, I get enough more viewers and more followers, then yes, definitely. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna be sharing a video today, and y'all could comment. We can watch this together. I haven't really seen it yet. This was sent to me a week ago, and after my last episode, I wasn't even supposed to start the season off already, but I'm back. I'm back. So let's get into this video, and we'll go from there. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Wanted to react to the recent appearance of Sarah Adams on the Sean Ryan podcast, and she's basically talking about a future attack on the United States by Al Qaeda, and then also plans that the Iranian military, or IRGC, is also planning on President Trump, other members of his first cabinet, and possible future attacks that they are also coordinating. So let's just jump into it.
On this, states need to take a look at this.
Yeah, the federal government, hopefully that changes come January 20th, but right now it's not functioning. States better start getting involved. You mentioned something about the IRGC targeting. What is the IRGC to start with?
Basically, it's another branch of the Iranian military, but it would be more like JSOC than like the U.S. Army, if that makes sense.
So
they have like a U.S. Army.
Okay.
And then there's different pieces of it. So the most famous one is the Quds Force, and that was one run by Qasem Soleimani. And the Quds Force was almost like...
Just some context, Qasem Soleimani, who ran the Quds Force for the IRGC, is who President Trump assassinated, I think like January 3rd, 2020. And he really pissed off the Iranians when he did that. They didn't really do much about it, but apparently they have been planning things ever since.
Special ops, CIA, lethal operations, like all in one.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so are they targeting Trump?
So Trump is the one they blame for the death of Qasem Soleimani because he set up the team. He got the approvals. Because remember, Qasem Soleimani was potentially like he was a Iranian military general. So the U.S. government wouldn't put him on a hit list because they're like, that's an official in another government. It wasn't until Trump came in and put lethal authorities that the U.S. could go after him. Iran knows this, so they blame his death in Iraq on Trump almost solely. So they've been planning an operation. I call it the Soleimani plot, but the U.S. government probably calls it something different. And we came across the Soleimani plot while doing our October 7th investigation, because the terrorist I told you about, Mohammad Kazemi, he's masterminding it. So it's so crazy. So he was one of the key plotters of October 7th. He's masterminding, basically assassinating President Trump. The U.S. government doesn't have him on the FBI most wanted list.
So you're telling me the guy who planned the October 7th attacks in Israel is also planning the unaliving of a former president and a recently newly elected president who takes office next month, and the FBI doesn't even have him on the most wanted list. So he's not on their radar, knowing he's on their radar. Explain this to me. Explain to me why the FBI does not have this guy on the list. And it takes Sarah Adams to say this.
Probably because they want him dead.
But isn't that crazy? He's like the mastermind behind a plot. Even if Trump wasn't going to be the president again, he was the mastermind of a plot against a former U.S. president. He's not even on our wanted list. This is the problem with our counterterrorism has just gone off the rails, right?
Why is it DEI? What is it? What's going on?
I pray they
That's a
knew
great
he was the
question.
mastermind, but there's a potential, like we were the only ones that found the suicide bomber's true name. There's a potential we got lucky and we found the mastermind before the US government. But even once we put it out, nobody in the US government has contacted us to even ask about it. And the crazy part is, we put this at the end of our report, the money going into the Soleimani plot is phenomenal. It's $145 million a month. So you that doesn't just assassinate a president.
So you have $145 million a month going into the planning to assassinate a president, and he's not even on the FBI most wanted list. Great job. They want him dead, dude. There's no other explanation to this. They want it to happen. They're hoping it happens. They thought they had it in July.
So we don't know what the plot is. The US government's the one that says it's a plot against Trump. There is a ton of money behind that plot. So I don't know if it's bigger than Trump. I don't know if it's Trump and some other symbols. Because remember, so what Iran usually does, and this is a correct assessment by the US government, when they target someone or something, it's always equal. So like if you hit their embassy, they would hit back your embassy. If you killed a scientist, they would do an assassination, right? So the US government is like, okay, we killed Qasem Soleimani. So Iran is going to counter by doing an assassination. But Qasem Soleimani isn't just a man in Iran. To Iran, he was the symbol of the Iranian revolution. Think about that. So he's like, I don't know, our capital or our Statue of Liberty. He's bigger than a man, right? So I do think US might be underestimating how the Iranians view Qasem Soleimani. And I think that the response to him is going to be bigger than they're assessing. I don't think it's just going to be the assassination of one man.
Who do you think, who else do you think might be on that list?
I mean, with that kind of money, like I wonder if it's the Capitol.
The entire Capitol. Holy shit.
Well, the building, you know.
Wow.
Which is scary because I will be at the Capitol on January 20th for the inauguration. I was just telling my dad today, it's like we got to have to keep our heads on a swivel while we're out there. I mean, what a great opportunity to hit America where it hurts during the inauguration of the president that they want dead anyway. It's very scary stuff, man.
Wow. Let's move into the homeland. We'll move into the homeland, then I was going to save that to the end, but it's getting hard to concentrate because that's all I could think about. I think about this stuff all the time. What's coming? I mean, when I talk to Scott, and I can't remember, sometimes I get my conversations blurred because is it on camera or off camera? I can't fucking remember. But Scott, if I remember correctly, Scott told me that Al-Qaeda is basically predicting that the casualty count will be between 50 and 60,000 Americans dead. Am I wrong on that?
So I don't know the count that they're predicting. What I do know is Al-Qaeda trained and sent 1,000 attackers.
1,000 attackers. When did they come through?
So
there's potentially 1,000 attackers inside the United States right now ready to attack the homeland.
They finished training and they deployed them. Now, depending on how they come through, it could take different times, right? So the fastest I've seen an Afghan leave Afghanistan and get over the border illegally is about 3 weeks. Now, if you get a tourist visa and a Saudi's passport, he can fly the day after he gets his visa, right? So it depends because they are fine getting people in however they can get them in. And they actually prefer legal immigration, as you can imagine, because they want basically the attackers to sit here and wait. If they're legal, they're not going to raise any alarm bells.
So wait a minute. I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000 Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attacks, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
Is there any indication of what kind of attacks these are going to be? Well, actually, before we get into that, how old is this information?
I mean, it's ongoing. So the training's already done, right? So all the training info is now old because they trained all the Homeland attackers, if that makes sense. So like next week, you're not going to get info of a Homeland attacker probably at a terrorist camp because it's already done. So all this has been in the last year.
So it's been over a year. It's been a year.
Because this was a continuation. So they planned October 7th first, and then they rolled into planning this after.
And this is something people don't realize, that Al-Qaeda was behind the Hamas attack on October 7th, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody is talking about that. Very frustrating. And plenty of people have given information to the U.S. government that Al-Qaeda not only planned the attack for October 7th, but is also planning an attack on the American homeland.
Are we next, or is Europe next?
I think the embassy attacks are next, in my opinion.
What are they waiting for the embassies?
I don't think they're waiting. I think it took time to train them. They've now approved them, and they've now moved into the operational stage.
What about the U.S.?
So the U.S., from what we've seen, I told you about the camps, right? That there's the advanced urban warfare. So we think it's going to look like October 7th, but it's actually based on, and October 7th was probably also based on it. It's based on the Mumbai attacks that occurred 15 years ago in Delhi, India. And we believe.
Wow, that is crazy, y'all. Give me a second. Alright, so yeah, I had to get back over to. But anyway, what's y'all thoughts on this whole thing? I mean, so do y'all really think that the assassination on the soon to become president was real? What do y'all think about them trying to place an attack on the United States? You know, what is going on? Like, and pause of the video, I might have to go back over. Like I said, this was my first time really watching this, so I can't dissect it the way that I want to right now. But, this is gonna be something right here. This is gonna be, I can't even pinpoint, but, you know, we just gotta stay aware. We gotta stay alert, and we just gotta make sure we do everything that we can possibly can to, you know, just be on the safe side of things, you know. This is crazy. This is crazy. Wow, you know. Yeah, 2025 already, you know. We said big things were happening, you know, and it's definitely, give me a second. I'll be back with my next clip I'm gonna share with y'all. So, see y'all in a second. Welcome back to SK1 News. Now, this one right here really kicked off 2025 in a big way. You know what I'm saying? Bigs up to Noble of the Outlaws. You know, boy, I haven't heard of this song since I heard of this song like this in a while. But it's bringing rap back, and I love it for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Now regardless of what, it's been almost 30 years since Tupac was alive, and you know, him and Nas supposed to have sparse beef back then, but to hear Nas been in his lyrics been saying little stuff to try to rewrite history with what happened on that particular night of the incident that occurred that could have went down and it could have been bloody. You know what I'm saying? So, I am about to share this video with you, and then I'm gonna come back and give my, thoughts on it. So, give me a second.
Hell, I'm yelling no more talk unless it's the truth. You in that bullshit walk. When I'm
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another edition of Edie I Means Talk My Truth. Listen, 2025 is already off to one of those starts, and that, we'll go back and look back 10, 20, 30 years from now and be like, wow, 2025. First, we have the unfortunate incidents that happened in New Orleans on New Year's Eve. I want to send my personal condolences to all the families and friends of the loved ones that were lost. From me to you, man, my condolences. Unfortunately, in life, these things are gonna happen and continue to happen, and we just gotta push through one way or another, man. I'm thankful and grateful because I got family out there, and everybody was good. So I'm personally thankful and grateful. We also had that weird shit that happened in Vegas with the blown up Tesla. Who knows what is behind that? But it made me think, like, in all of these type of situations, whether it's assassination attempt, mass murder, most of the time the assassins are always either killed or kill themselves. So you can never really talk directly to them and see what was going through their mind. Of course, they leave manifestos and things of that nature, but anybody can come up with that. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't get into conspiracies and none of that rabbit hole stuff. But it's just interesting, something to think about as we consume news coming at us from all angles. Something to think about and keeping your top hat, man, as you go throughout your day. But before I go, I got a question for y'all. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? I just want to know. Because it is entertaining. Man, let's get right into it. Young Noble from the Outlaws dropped a megaton bomb of a record directed at Nas. And he had some very poignant things to say in his track that he just recently put out earlier this week.
I ain't talking about you turn Pac on the Hennessy. He ain't hit a vouch, so I'm riding on his frenemies.
Me personally, I understand where it's coming from, and but at the same time, I also recognize that some of this subject matter is a bit dated, and some people feel like, yo, where's this coming from? Nas always gave it up to Pac. He always showed nothing but love to Pac, which is true. In that same regard, though, there have been some statements that were made, some interviews, whatever the case may be. Of course, we have the Death Row E song that Nas put out a couple of years back on his King Disease 2 project, a song that I'm actually name dropped in. I mentioned it. He sent me a shout out along with myself and Napoleon.
Peace to Edie, Napoleon, all the innovators. We had respect before we was ever some entertainers.
And I'll get in a little bit of that backstory too. But I want to know how y'all feel about Young Noble's record, man. Hit up the comments. Let me know your thoughts, how you feel about it, one way or another. I want to, emphasize that when you look at the Outlaws, whether it's past members, current members, whatever the case may be, although we are a unit and will forever be linked together, we are individuals as well, and we are grown men and can do what we want to do. Quite honestly, there's no one person that sits above any of us and says yay and nay. A little background from my point of view on the Young Noble song. My brother hit me about a year ago, maybe even more than a year ago, and said he had this idea. He wanted to do this, and he actually gave me, some of the bars of the song. He hadn't recorded it yet, but he did write it.
I wrote that verse a whole fucking year ago. I held it a whole year ago. My brother was like, "Nah, don't do it. Leave it alone." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna save it. He gonna make me use it. I can just tell how he moving. Yeah, it's just time, So hopefully he replied, man. But I doubt it because he, what the fuck he gonna say? What he gonna write a rhyme and say, "Yeah, I've been lying on Tupac. Noble's right." I mean, what the
Right.
Yeah, he gonna have to sit with that one. He gonna have to live with that.
And although lyrically sharp, Noble is undeniable, man. When Pac decided to add Noble to the group, one of the things he emphasized in Noble was that, you gotta be the best rapper. You gotta be that guy lyrically that can't nobody f with outside of this clique. And Noble has worked his ass off for the past 30 years to make sure he lives up to that expectation Tupac had for him. Now, individually and collectively, Pac had different missions for everybody in the group. And, whether he spoke to them individually about what he expected from them or to us together as a group, one thing for sure, two things for certain, he didn't mince words and he meant what he said to everybody. He had complete vision for every member of the group and how he saw them, not only in that present moment, but in the future. So with that being said, Noble dropped that Megaton bomb, you feel me? And those were things that he personally had to get off his chest. When he told me about the song a year ago, I was honest with him. I said, it's not the time for this. And the reason why I felt like it wasn't the time for this was strictly on the fact that around this time, Noble had dropped some really quality projects that I felt like he was getting a lot of positive energy from. The music was positive, the message was positive, and I said this didn't, in my opinion, coincide with the kind of music that he was dropping at that time. He agreed with me and decided not to drop the record at that time. Fast forward, I guess he felt it was time. And so he did what he did, and he dropped that earlier this week. Like I said, hit up the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about it, one way or another. As far as the Death Row E song in particular, a lot of people don't know because I didn't broadcast it. I didn't record me and Nas on FaceTime. I didn't screenshot it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do none of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not that kind of individual. That's not my style. It was a personal conversation that we had. The person that made that conversation is a good brother by the name of Double, who was doing some security work and some other things for Nas at the time. Me and him know each other. He's also affiliated and related to Hit Boy. And so I know that camp. And he reached out to me and was like, "Yo, Nas want to holler at you about this record he about to drop." And lo and behold, 5 minutes later, Nas was on the phone and we got a chance to chop it up, albeit briefly. He said what he needed to say. I said what I needed to say. And we both agreed that, we had mutual respect for each other. And that mutual respect for me remains intact. I said in one of my previous videos that during the time that we was doing what we was doing with Pac, I wasn't the biggest Nas fan. No stated in his interview with Art of Dialogue, where I think he spoke excellently about, the MTV award incident running into Nas and giving a clearer perspective of what happened, because there was a lot of stories that went on, but Noble spoke on it, and he had the right to speak on it because he was there. I wasn't there personally, so that's why you've never heard me speak about that situation. But, to bring it all back full circle, like I said, there was mutual respect there. Nas did some interviews. I'm sure a lot of y'all may have seen those interviews or heard those interviews where he said certain things about Tupac. And a lot of that, I believe, is what issue Noble had with the song. So when me and Nas spoke, like I said, we both left it with mutual respect and moved on. I appreciated the shout out in the song. He didn't have to do that. He did that because that was something he wanted to do. Like I said, are you not entertained? At the end of the day, folks, this shit is all entertainment. It's for your listening pleasure. And, to take a quote from Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you got to pop out things. Sometimes that is the case. I don't know if Noble felt like this was the time. Obviously, he did because he dropped this particular song and it got a lot of y'all talking about it. So since y'all talking, like I said, hit up the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about it. This is Idi Amin's Talk My Truth, man. We're just getting started. The year is just getting started. We're going to keep it rolling. I'm going to be giving y'all a lot of information, a lot of backstory on some hit records, a lot of backstory on some lesser-known records. I got another book coming. It's called The Realest Shit I Ever Wrote. And I'm going to be breaking down some of my most famous verses, my most popular verses, songs I did with Pac, songs I did without Pac. I'll also give you backstory in the book about those songs as well, how they came up, how they were inspired, what made us, what was the mood like in the studio. I'll be giving you background on all of this in this particular book that's coming out. Stop what you're doing right now after this video. Go to recordingmusic.com. That is recordingmusic.com. I'm going to put a link right here in the video for y'all so y'all can check it out. Make sure you go to recordingmusic.com. That's where streaming music, the crypto world meet up together and make beautiful love so we can start to progress and artists can start to receive what they deserve for the music that they create, the blood, sweat, and tears, so on and so forth, man. Once again, it's your guy, Idi. Idi Amin's Talk My Truth. I'm gone.
Let's get it.
Big up to Edie. You know what I'm saying? One of the original official outlaws. Yeah. But my whole thing with this whole, thing, Edie said enough. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely entertainment. And a lot of people just like I've been reading like comments and stuff like that, and a lot of people was like taking this on left, like, okay, so what, the man waited 30 years. It only came up because of a situation. Now, I'm quite sure this man just didn't say, hey, I'm just gonna go and attack Nas, and didn't have anybody really listen to the interview. Like, have anybody, dissect and said all of this stuff. See, people just go off of what they see. Oh, he should leave it alone. Nas gonna come back and eat him up. I'm assuming the man don't care what Nas do. He want Nas to come back and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? He said he is ready and he's prepared to attack. So whatever Nas got coming, he got something to come back with. So a lot of people just trying to do like shots like, oh no, man, that beef is old. Him and Pac. We all know him and Pac squashed that beef years ago. But why come out of your mouth and still bring up, old situation and try to rewrite history? That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about, oh, well, I hear Nas keep saying my name, or hey, Nas keep saying Pac name, and you know he's disrespecting his name. No, this dude just got tired. You know what I'm saying? And as you heard Edie said in Noble on Yup Mouth podcast a couple of days ago, even stated this himself that it he been sitting on this for a little minute. He could have been released it. And who knows? I heard a song from Young Noble a little over a year ago. And he was doing shots at somebody. I just don't know who he was doing shots at, but you know what I'm saying? The song was hard though, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, getting this going, getting it started. I do think that was the top of 2025 and the best part of 2025 already. And it's starting out good. Big up to Kendrick Lamar for, bringing it back to that kind of form, because, hey, who wants to sit up there and just continue on hearing this old garbage that they playing now, this old garbage mess, you know what I'm saying? Bring rap back, bring music back, bring it all back. We all for it. We all want to hear it. We all will be there, you know what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it. I don't care how old the rapper is. A rapper could be old as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? If they still can spit, can still do whatever. Hey, no, only 46 years old. So shoot, he if he felt like he wanna, go on and do whatever he do, hey, it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna shoot nobody. He even said it himself. He's still cool with Nas. Him and Nas, they good. He just had to get it off his chest. People acting like these two really beefing with each other. I doubt if it get there. You know what I'm saying? They both grown men. They both individual grown men. So, I mean, I doubt if it get that far. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in there, early days of living no more. All of that stuff old, that East Coast, West Coast stuff, that stuff old. You know what I'm saying? We here in 2025, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just, speak on it, speak on it, speak on it. You know what I'm saying? For this today episode, I am done. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to bring a taste of what's going on. I got a few little technical issues I gotta fix over here, so I can prepare for this next show. And yes, we will be sharing a lot of stories this year. We will be sharing a lot of news this year. I don't know when I'm gonna be back on my other show. But right now I'm here, and that's if the other show even come back, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here, I'm here. So, on that note, I appreciate everybody that took the time out to watch this video. This will be on YouTube, and also this will be on Spotify, so definitely check this out on both platforms, and I will upload it over on, what is that? Bean Pod. It will be over there, you know what I'm saying? To those that use that particular platform, I will be doing more shows over there just as well. And yes, I am happy to do season 6 right now, and I will be back for more shows. So enjoy y'all weekend or whatever. See y'all when I come back on the next episode.